Hello, welcome back. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are looking at a custom card I created for the purposes of Commander Draft. Now, as you can see, we are looking at Urza's AI, where we normally make AI-generated magic cards, but this card is fully made by me. All of the card text is defined ahead of time and then simply rendered using Urza's AI. Everything can be defined in the JSON of the deck builder. You can set the name, you can set the cost, you can set the power, the toughness, the types, the subtypes, and even the text. So nothing about this card is AI generated. The reason we've done this is because we are playing Commander Draft. Generally, that is a format that has intentionally additional cards that aren't really part of the draft environment. They do exist in the set, you can draft them, but you never want to. Instead, they are always available to every player. They also represent the set mechanic that allows you to smooth out your identity. Because you're not constructing a deck, you're a little bit limited. Instead, you have things like Partner, which allows you to have two commanders that each are contributing color to your color identity, or choose a background, which allows you to have an enchantment as part of your commander identity pair. These are represented by Prismatic Piper, which is always available if you don't have any other options. You can always choose them to get an extra color for your partner pairing. And Faceless One, which will allow you to be your background. What's interesting about these cards is that they are boring and suck, and nobody wants to ever use them. There's no reason to, which makes sense. You don't want it to be a situation where people are like, ooh yeah, the best commander is the Faceless One. Like, no, it's supposed to be always available for everyone, not hard to get. If there was demand for it, suddenly it becomes an expensive card, and that's not the point. But I still think there should be some use case. Just maybe there's a cost involved. This is where Wblbrg came from. My 2-mana, 1/4 legendary creature Homunculus, which has the keyword Lackey, which is a keyword I invented. This reads, choose 1 or 2 colors before the game begins. Wblbrg is those colors. You can have 2 commanders if 3 or fewer unique colors are among their color identities, and Wblbrg is one of them. They also have Burden, which is an ability word I invented, which preempts any text that has to do with doing something negative from your command zone. Similar to Eminence, but reversed. Burden, in this case, reads, at the beginning of your end step, if Wblbrg is in your command zone, each opponent may draw a card for each of Wblbrg's colors. When Wblbrg leaves the battlefield, if it is your commander, put it into your command zone. The point of this, of course, is that you can't simply allow it to die and never put it back. It is always a burden unless you keep it in the field. And this is something I really like about this design. It doesn't really do anything inherently except for expand your color identity, but it's something that you have to plan around. You have a reason to actually play it. Sure, maybe you never want to be playing Prismatic Piper, but you'll still run one if you just need an extra color and nothing else exists. Cool, okay, fine, but even in those situations, you probably never play the Prismatic Piper. Here, Wblbrg wants you to play them. They want to come along on your adventure. And if you don't, they'll be a burden to you. Making Wblbrg really showed me there's a really interesting niche of custom magic design that might have a lot of potential with designing in, because you get to actually potentially use these cards. I know it sounds a bit weird considering we play with AI generated cards all the time, but everybody has all of these AI generated cards. It feels like a level playing field to me personally. What's interesting about cards like Wblbrg is that they don't really represent a custom card in a custom set. Instead, they represent more like a format rule. In Commander Draft, the format is that you may choose a Prismatic Piper no matter what, no matter if you draft it or not. Or a Faceless One in the case of Forgotten Realms. And what's interesting about that to me is that you could theoretically design custom magic cards that are the face of a custom format where everybody involved has the opportunity to use them. It's a level playing field for everyone. I feel like there's probably a lot of potential in this design space. Maybe you could even design alternate basic lands or something, right? Cards that are just always available to everyone. I don't know. That's not really what this channel is about. It's just something I was thinking about when I made this card. I hope you'll join us when we play Commander Draft using Wblbrg as our available partner. I'm excited to see them allow us to play with commanders without feeling limited to their color identity and without breaking the color identity rule like we've done in the past. As with this series, where we are gearing up to play a Winchester Commander Draft with AI generated cards, I've made custom art for Wblbrg so that we can have that art in the game at the end. Please enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.